हरे कृष्णा धन्वत प्रणाम जय शिला प्रभुपाद। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada, pranams dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining. So we're continuing our reading of the teachings of Queen Kunti. We are on chapter 13 right now, the vital force of the universe. So let's just quickly read the verse and translation and then we'll go to the section that we have to cover today. So verse number 13. जन्म कर्म च विश्वात्मन् अजस्या कर्तुरात्मना तीर्यान् ऋषिषु यादाशु तद अत्यंत vidambanam. So Kunti Maharani is saying, of course it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work though you are inactive, and that you take birth though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend among animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. Okay. So just because it's a new week, so I'll just quickly summarize what we have read in the purport so far, and then we'll go on to the reading for today. So in this verse is actually coming in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th chapter, and this is verse number 30. And this verse highlights the apparent contradictions in Krishna's nature. He's unborn, he's inactive, and the vital force of the universe, yet he appears to take birth and perform activities in many forms. These contradictions are not flaws, but they actually reveal Krishna's inconceivable potency, that is, Krishna's Achintya Shakti, which lies beyond the limits of the human logic. So we can never think that at some point of our realization we'll be able to understand Krishna fully. Because if we think that we can understand Krishna fully, then that means that our intelligence has gone beyond Krishna. But that can never happen, right? So in our reading, in our spiritual life, there will be things that will be beyond our understanding, beyond human logic, and that is absolutely fine because Krishna is actually Achintya. And then, although he pervades everything as super soul and has nothing to do, all actions occur perfectly through his energies. And Krishna is both greater than the greatest and smaller than the smallest. He manifests as the cosmic universal form, and he's also dwelling within each atom, within each heart. And those who are unable to perceive God directly are encouraged to see him through the universe itself. Like some people have this concept where they are able to see God through nature, like the mountains, the oceans, planets, living beings. Thus, they cultivate their Krishna consciousness. And then, obviously, in the higher stages, one is able to render service to Krishna. Then, great yogis, they can perform wonders through mystic power. But Krishna is Yogeshwara. That means he is the master of all mystic powers. And in Kali Yuga, he has mercifully appeared as his holy name, making association with him easy through chanting Hare Krishna without any restriction. So ultimately, Krishna reveals himself according to one's attitude. So, what is one's attitude towards Krishna? Krishna reciprocates with that. So, to devotees, he is the Supreme Lord. To others, they may see him as an ordinary person. This is what has been discussed, right? Like, even when Krishna was present, not everyone was able to see Krishna's majesty and understand that he's a Supreme Lord. And also, Prabhupada has written in the purport that the highest goal of life is not dharma, wealth, pleasure, or liberation, but it is pure love for Krishna, prema. That is actually the highest goal of life. That is the essence of Vrindavan and the true perfection of life. And a devotee is always prepared to render service to the Lord. Dasyam gatanam paradevatena. But for those who are under the spell of illusory energy, they think of Krishna as an ordinary boy. Okay. So Krishna deals with different entities according to their conceptions. So if someone regards Krishna as an ordinary human being, Krishna will deal with him like that. But the devotee accepts Krishna as a supreme Lord, and then that is why the devotee enjoys the association of the supreme Lord. And then the next section was about the cowherd boys playing with Krishna. They are also not ordinary. It may appear that, oh, they are simple, uneducated village boys, and the gopis are simple village girls. But actually, they have attained the highest perfection because they get to play with the Supreme Lord. And how did they achieve this position? By many, many lives of pious activities. Krita Punya Punja. So, for many, many lives, these boys underwent austerities, penances to achieve this highest perfection of life. And then they got the opportunity to play with Krishna personally on an equal level. And for them, they do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord because that is the nature of Vrindavan Leela. The mode is not of awe and reverence, but of love and devotion and affection to Krishna. So this is Vrindavan Leela, Krishna's Vrindavan Leela, Krishna's pastimes in the village of Vrindavan. And not knowing Krishna's identity, the coward boys simply love Krishna and their love is unending. So this is true for everyone in Vrindavan. For example, Yashoda Mai, Nanda Baba, those are the examples Prabhupada gives in the purport. They love Krishna like mother, father. Similarly, Krishna's friends, Krishna's girlfriends, the gopis, the trees love Krishna, the water loves Krishna, the flowers, calves, everyone loves Krishna, and that is the nature of Vrindavan. So, if we simply learn how to love Krishna, we can immediately transform this world into Vrindavan. This is the only central point how to love Krishna. Prema Pumartho Mahan. People are generally pursuing dharma, artha, kama, moksha, religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disregarded these four things and he said that these are not what is to be achieved in life. He said that the real goal of life is love for Krishna. Okay, so that is the section we had read till Friday. Now we'll come to today's section. So I've highlighted that paragraph. Would anyone like to read this paragraph?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, please read. Haribol.
Of course, human life does not actually begin until there is some conception of religion, dharma. But in the present age, Kali Yuga, dharma is practically nil. There is no religion or morality, and there are no pious activities. And therefore, according to Vedic calculations, the present human civilization does not even consist of human beings. Formerly, people would care about morality and immorality, religion and irreligion. But with the progress of Kali Yuga, this is all being vanquished, and people can do anything without caring what it is. Sri Bhagavatam says, and we can actually see that in Kali Yuga, about 80% of the people are sinful. Illicit sex, life, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling are the four pillars of sinful life. And therefore, we request that one first break these four pillars so that the roof of sinful life will collapse. Then, by chanting Hare Krishna, one can remain established in a transcendental position. It is a very simple method.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Madhuri. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
So Prabhupada is explaining that human life does not actually begin until there is some conception of dharma. And Prabhupada has written that really right now there is no religion or morality, and there are no pious activities, right? And we can see around us also how many people actually know what is dharma. Hardly anyone. There is uh, no interest in people to know what is written in our scriptures. And many people are going to temples, doing pujas also, just as a matter of ritual. And many people are just doing it out of fear that, oh, something bad should not happen. So then, whatever, little thing I need to do, I'll do it. And coming to temples, doing these rituals, very few people really know what is dharma. So Prabhupada is saying that it is written in that in Kali Yuga, about 80% of the people are sinful. So the four pillars of sinful life, they first have to be broken, and then the roof of sinful life will collapse. That is why it is so important that we follow these regulative principles. Sadly, people don't read scriptures, and there are actually many misinterpretations of scriptures also. So that's why people, whoever even tries a little, they get discouraged because I've heard many people say this, that in Hinduism, what they call Hinduism, there are just too many options. They're just it's just too vast. Like in Christianity, okay, there is Jesus Christ, there is a concept of God, Bible, one book. Then in Islam, there is Quran, one book, and then the concept of Allah and Muhammad. But in Hinduism, there are so many gods, there are so many books, so it's just too confusing, it's just too vast. So what people actually take or think of as a negative is actually the greatest positive of Sanatan Dharma, because being so vast means that it is very inclusive. The faith of people may vary immensely, right? Someone may just want some material benefit, someone may want material benefit, but they still want to do a few pious activities. And then there are people who want to cultivate knowledge, there are people who are into meditation, there are people who are into yagyas, some are into fasting and other penances, and then obviously the greatest of all, bhakti to Krishna. So yoga also, there is bhakti yoga, there is gyan yoga, there is ashtang yoga. This means that there is place for everyone. Even if a person is not really on the path of Shuddha Bhakti, still they can do something which purifies their consciousness, so that ultimately they get elevated and they are able to come to the level of Bhakti. That is actually the beauty of Sanatan Dharma. That is why we have so many Vedas, we have so many Upanishads, because they are filled with so much knowledge so that it caters to everyone. Okay, so this is not actually a disadvantage, this is actually a positive. And then we don't have to get confused because the cream of everything, the cream of all that knowledge, cream of all the Vedic knowledge is present in the Bhagavad Gita. And then reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, this just there is just complete knowledge is given to us in very simple form by Srila Prabhupada's mercy. And Prabhupada here he says, like this is the, I mean, in this paragraph, he says, by chanting Hare Krishna, one can remain established in a transcendental position. It is a very simple method. So Prabhupada says it so simply that just by chanting Hare Krishna, one can remain established in a transcendental position. But then one may ask that if it is so simple, then why are we struggling so much to do this? This means that, if there is so much struggle, this means that maybe we are not chanting Hare Krishna properly. So our focus should not be to find faults in this process. Rather, we should focus on how to chant Hare Krishna properly. What do we need to do? How do we improve our chanting? How do we improve the quality of our chanting? See, in the initial stages, the focus is just to get the rounds done. Okay, we may start with one round, move to two rounds, and four, 8, 16. Getting to 16 rounds itself is a struggle for many. But now, when by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we have we have attained this stage where we are able to chant the minimum number of rounds that Prabhupada gave. Then now we should not just be satisfied that okay, I did my 16 rounds done, my work is done. No, our focus should be improved to be, how to improve the quality, how to chant properly. So we need to give time to Krishna and we need to give focus to Krishna. So it is a simple process, but sadly, we are struggling with even that. So for Kali Yuga, this process is Hari Nam Sankirtan. What if we were in the previous Yuga, where we had to do meditation or, for thousands of years or yagya or in, very elaborate deity worship? We cannot even think of doing that now, right? So that is why a very simple process of chanting Hare Krishna has been given to us, but we need to put our focus and we need to give time to Krishna. Okay, now let's read the next paragraph. Maybe this entire section can be read. Hare Krishna, anyone wants to read this highlighted section?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, please read, Padma Mataji.
One cannot realize God if if one's life is sinful. Therefore, Krishna says, "Yesam tu gatam papam jananam punya karmanam tedvanva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrita." Bhagavad Gita. No. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. Bhagavad Gita 7.28. The word antagatam means finished. One can engage in devotional service if one has finished with his sinful life. Who can finish with sinful life? Those who engage in pious activities. One must have activities, and if one engages in pious activities, one's sinful activities will naturally vanish. On one side, one should voluntarily try to break the pillars of sinful life, and on the other side, one must engage himself in pious life. That's all, Mataji. Should I go ahead? Or?
No, Mataji, let's discuss this,
Yeah.
then we can move forward. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhupada is saying that if one's life is sinful, one cannot realize God because Krishna is completely pure now. So, if one is leading a sinful life, then how can one then understand Krishna? So, then Krishna, therefore, Prabhupada says, Krishna says that this verse from Bhagavad Gita, which means that one who has acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, who's freed from duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. So here the word Dridhavrata Determination is very, very significant because determination is very important for our spiritual life. Even in material life, if we see, can we attain anything without determination, whether it is our education or family life, our jobs, anything that we need to do, even in this material world, we need to be determined. And it is so much more important in our spiritual life. So, those who are leading a sinful life, whose sinful actions are not completely eradicated, that means, vikarma is there, and who are not freed from delusion. Uh, we have to understand that Krishna consciousness is simple, but it is not cheap. So we cannot think that I can continue doing my any kind of sinful activities, any kind of materialistic activities, and yet I'll keep advancing. We have to understand that this bondage or this deep attachment to material enjoyment, it has to be removed. Only then will we be able to give our heart fully to Krishna. So if there are devotees who are not leading a sinful life, whose sinful actions are eradicated, that means they have no vikarma and they are freed from duality of delusion. They are able to engage themselves in Krishna's service with determination. So those who have not come to this stage, that means whose sinful activities are not yet eradicated completely, who are not yet completely freed from delusion, they might engage in devotional service, but that determination is not there. So, not with Dridhavrata. And if we are not able to engage with determination, then we are not able to do devotional service with that much enthusiasm. Then we will be struggling. And then we will be in the anartha nivritti stage for a very long time. See, gradually the nine stages of bhakti, they are told to us, we learn about it so that we are able to see where we are. It is not to discourage us, but rather to encourage us to keep moving forward. Right? So when we know where we are on the stage of bhakti yoga, then we are able to work towards moving further, right, and not remaining stagnating in one particular level, one particular stage. So let's just discuss what are the nine stages of bhakti quickly, so that we know that if we are not working with determination, then our movement beyond anartha nivritti stage is really stopped. So, would anyone like to say what are the nine stages of bhakti yoga? Or if you remember any of
Shravanam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu
no,
Smaranam.
Mataji, those are the nine processes of bhakti. But what are the stages of bhakti yoga? It starts with
Uh, uh,
Shraddha.
Shraddha, Nivritti, Nishtha,
Hmm.
Asakti. But I'm
Okay.
not telling in the order, I believe.
Yes, yes, Mataji. But you can tell
Uh,
whatever you remember. Others also can
mm,
just pull
Mataji,
in.
Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajan
Hmm.
Kriya, Anartha
Hmm.
Nivrati,
Hmm.
Nishtha,
Hmm.
Ruchi,
Hmm.
Ruchi.
then Asakti. Am I right?
Hmm.
Bhava,
Yes, yes,
Prema.
yes, Mataji.
Bhava,
Very
Prema.
nice. Hari bol. Thank you, Mataji. Hari bol. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, so we can learn this by this example that Amoghila Prabhu quotes that one who has little shraddha, little faith, they come to the temple, then they probably will start association of devotees, which is sadhu sangha. So you had some shraddha, then sadhu sangha happened. Then when we come in the association of devotees, they will tell us to chant, right? Or do some service. So that is bhajan kriya. So Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya. Then when the bhajan process starts, then Anarth Nivritti starts, which means decreasing of unwanted attachments. So Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anarth Nivritti. Then when the anarthas are removed, then we become little steady in bhakti, because it is the anarthas which keep us, which keep pulling us back. So when the anarthas are removed, anartha nivritti is done, then we become steady, which is nishtha stage. And then when this matures further, then we get a taste for bhakti, which is ruchi. And then this goes further to attachment, which is asakti. And then comes the stage of love, which is bhava, and then prema, which is pure love for Krishna. So Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajan Kriya, Anarth Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and Prem. So we know that there is a lot to be done. So if we remain stagnating at the anartha nivritti stage, if that is taking a very long time, then that means we are not getting that steadiness, right? And then that is when we will start getting impatient, because we may have been there in Krishna consciousness for a long time, but we are not really progressing. So then enthusiasm decreases, and slowly one may start losing interest in coming to the temple, and then in wanting to associate with devotees. So this is very risky. This is like someone getting such a massive wealth and then losing it because we were a little careless. So we should not let this happen, and that is why we need to have determination. So it should be like, I will chant, I will read, even though I may not have the interest right now, but this is what I have been told to do, so I'm going to do it. That is determination. So, like we can see with the army officers, right, in defense, uh, I mean, is it very pleasurable to do the training that they undergo? No, it is actually very hard. My brother was there in the NDA, and my cousin, and he told me how difficult their schedule is. I mean, in the when the training period is there, they have to study also. There is rigorous training also. They barely get to sleep, but their determination is there that they want to serve the nation. They want to join the defense force, so they just go on with that. Similarly, as sadhakas, our goal is much higher. We want to transcend this material world. So the like and dislike business should actually end when we come to spiritual life. And it absolutely ends when one takes initiation. And by initiation, I don't just mean that the day where you get a new name, where there is a fire sacrifice, but initiation, His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj says that initiation happens when one surrenders to the Guru, when one gives one's heart and one's life to the Guru. That surrender, that is actually initiation. And then the fire sacrifice day is actually a celebration of that initiation. So we should not think that I'm still not initiated, so I can take it a little easy. No, if we have surrendered to our guru, then that means we have to absolutely surrender our intelligence also, our likes and dislikes also. Surrendering intelligence doesn't mean that we start acting foolishly. It just means that we have to stop thinking from our mind that I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do this, this is right for me, this is wrong for me. No, we have to use our intelligence to apply the instructions of our Guru Maharaj. But it's just that the question of our like and dislike should end. We just have to follow the instructions given by our Guru. And the whole thing should be, I have to just follow. And His Grace Rajvihari Prabhu says in a very wonderful lecture that if we do devotional service only on the days when we feel like it, then really how many such days will actually be there? Many days it's going to be uh, an effort to actually do our sadhana, because at least speaking about myself, that much purification has not happened, that taste has not yet come. So it is still in the stage where we have to follow the instructions of the Guru. So there is so much conditioning that to do all these things in spite of our conditioning, we need a lot of determination. So when we are conditioned and we follow instructions, then we come out of the conditioning. But the conditioned stage will actually stop us, and that is why we need to surrender. That means if I have surrendered, if I have taken the vow, I have made that promise, then I just have to do it, whether I feel like doing it or not. That is not important. So the question of our liking, our disliking is actually just totally gone. Okay, so this is something that we need to keep reminding ourselves again and again, that when we come to spiritual life, when we come to the life where we want to, want to engage in devotional service and we want to get very serious. It is not just a matter of a hobby for us anymore. I mean, some people come to temple because it's then they feel peaceful. It's nice to come to a very peaceful environment. And they may even start chanting, come for some programs. So yes, that is also very nice. At least they are doing something. But then, but then we don't have to stay at that stage. If we want to go further, if we want to really experience the love of Krishna in our life, then we have to surrender, and we have to surrender our likes and dislikes also, and just with a lot of determination follow the instructions that have been given to us. Okay.
Mataji, I just want to ask you something. When you
Yes,
say
yes.
the bhajan kriya is chanting and serving the Lord.
Yes, Mataji, devotional service and
Yeah.
chanting.
Okay, then
Both.
the other one is the anartha nivrati, that is kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, that only.
Yes, Mataji, the unnecessary attachments are going.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Mataji.
Okay, then asakti is attachment to the Lord, right? Just want to verify.
After anartha nivritti is nishtha, which is
Yeah, yes,
steadiness,
yeah.
and asakti is
Ruchi,
attachment.
yeah,
Ruchi
okay.
is taste, asakti is attachment,
To the
and
Lord,
then
no?
attachment to the Lord,
Attachment to the Lord,
yes.
yes.
And bhava means love, and prema is pure love.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now let's read the next two paragraphs. And Krishna, would someone like to read?
Read Mataji, if nobody's reading.
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare
Please.
Krishna.
Yeah.
From where should I read? If one, no?
If one has no
Yeah.
pious engagement.
Hare Krishna. If one has no pious engagement, it is not that one can become free from sinful activities simply by theoretical understanding. For example, the American government is spending millions of dollars to stop the use of LSD and other such intoxicants. But the government has failed. How is it that simply by passing laws or giving lectures, one can make people give up these things? It is not possible. One must give people good engagements and then they will automatically give up the bad ones. For example, we instruct our students no intoxication and they immediately give it up, even though the government has failed to stop them. This is practical. Param drishtva nivartate. If someone isn't given good engagement, his bad engagements cannot be stopped. That is not possible. Therefore, we have two sides: prohibition of sinful activities and engagement in good activities. We don't simply say no illicit sex, no intoxication, and so on. Mere negativity has no meaning. There must be something positive because everyone wants engagement. That is because we are living entities, not dead stones. By meditating, the impersonalist philosophers try to become dead stones. Let me think of something void or impersonal. But how can one sorry? But how can one artificially make oneself void? The heart and mind are full of activities, so these artificial methods will not help human society. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Haribol. So, did we read this paragraph? Did we miss this paragraph? The word antagatam. Did we read this? Okay, I'll just cover this also. Maybe we missed. I missed this.
No,
So
Mataji, we didn't.
didn't read, na? Yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
I'll just read this quickly. So here, we discussed about determination, and then Prabhupada is saying that the word antagatam means finished. So one can engage in devotional service if one has finished with his sinful life. So that same concept Prabhupada is explaining here also. And who can finish with sinful life? Those who engage in pious activities. And one must have activities. And if one engages in pious activities, one's sinful activities will naturally vanish. On one side, one should voluntarily try to break the pillars of sinful life, and on another side, one must engage himself in pious life. So both things have to be done. We have to break the pillars of sinful life and engage in pious life. We have to do both. So that is
Mataji.
why, yes, Mataji.
Engaging in pious life is also problem, no, Mataji? When you have pious activities, you go to the heavenly planet. So that's why we avoid.
Mataji, pious activities, if we don't offer it to Krishna, then it becomes a problem. So if we are doing pious activities as a service, then it will not bind us.
Okay, like see, people make on the roadside, people
Mhm.
make it possible for people to drink water. They arrange
Hmm.
for that, they make a tap or something. Then you
Hmm.
give down old age or children
Hmm.
who are handicapped, they go and those are all pious activities. So
Ah, yes,
how?
Mataji.
So how
Hmm.
do we deal with that, Mataji? Sometimes you want to help some people, but then every
Hmm.
time this rings in my ear, the pious,
Hmm.
it becomes pious activity. But here
Yes.
it's contradicting, no?
So Mataji, pious activities, especially here, we have to understand pious activities doesn't mean the materialistic pious activities, but those pious activities which are actually going to take us further on the spiritual path. Now, there will be many things that we do, like you said, helping a poor person or helping, aged people or some other kind of welfare activities. So devotees also do these kind of things, but for a devotee, what is different is the consciousness. So they are not doing that as something that I am doing. Rather, they are using Krishna's money for some good work, like, feeding the poor. So, feeding the poor, just normal food, that will come like a pious activity. But if we feed them Krishna Prasadam, then that becomes bhakti. So if we are giving some donation also, first of all, we have to be very careful where we are donating.
Yeah.
But we can donate that with the consciousness that this is actually Krishna's money that is being given for the help of others. Like in here in Bangalore, before COVID, after COVID, I don't know, it stopped. There was one organization which would approach different societies and where ladies would cook meals and they would go to slums and distribute.
Yeah.
Right. So here, what it is simple for us. We make prasadam. So whoever got that box will get Krishna prasadam. So this doesn't remain a normal pious activity. It becomes a spiritual activity, a spiritually
Yes.
pious activity. So we have to do both. We cannot say that, okay, I'll just avoid I'll just follow the four regulative principles. I'll just avoid those sins, but I'll not do anything positive. We have to do seva also, na? We have to render service to Krishna
Yeah.
also, na?
See, Mataji, for instance, in Dubai once, at one time we made some food and gave it to offer to Krishna, and then we gave it to laborers because laborers they don't get proper food to eat, they are so
Mm-hmm.
starved. So when we
Yeah.
went and stopped the car, when they saw we were distributing, so many laborers came. So we
Mm-hmm.
had only about 25, 30 boxes because we didn't
Mm-hmm.
know how many will there be.
How many
So
will
others
come?
were coming and they were asking. So we were feeling bad. So will that
Mhm.
be that we are favoring some people, we are not giving the others?
Mataji, there is a limitation that we all have now. No
Yeah,
matter how much we do, we cannot go to each poor person in the
yeah,
world
yeah,
and
that's
give.
true.
But
Now see
whatever
another one,
we do.
another thing I understood, Mata. Now supposing we go to an old age place,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
then we give them like Krishna's money, like
Hmm.
to give them. But
Hmm.
suppose if they make chicken or something and feed them, then we get the karma, no?
That is
So
why, Mataji, giving money is always very tricky. So we have to be very careful where we are giving the money. We can actually give food items instead. That is better. Instead of giving money to a place where
yeah,
we don't know what they're going to do with it.
yes, that's the thing. So that
Yes, so
becomes a
yes.
problem.
Yes, Mataji. So it's better to buy like food items and give.
Mataji, even with food item, they make all, they turn the entire thing. They will, that
Mm.
lather comes from their mouth. They will show as if they are dying and all that. It is poisonous. Then people come and beat us. So it is
Mm.
very tricky. Like you said, no, better
It
we
is
can only
very
pray for
tricky.
them. Can only pray for them.
Yes,
That's
yes,
all.
Mataji. I mean, there are some bona fide organizations. See, if
Yeah,
we
yeah.
want to do
We can give to
Annadhanam,
them. Yes.
it is best we give for our ISKCON temples for
Yeah, that's what we
food
do,
for life.
Mataji.
Not on the street
Yeah,
urchins and all, we should not entertain at all, Mataji.
food for life is
Yes,
the best,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Food for life is the best. Yes, there
Best, yeah,
is, I mean, and whatever is our income, we have to donate a
yeah,
part of it to the temple. It is, and that is always going for preaching activities now.
yeah,
So that is safest because, I mean, there will be some very authentic organizations also. We don't know. That is why we have to be very careful where we are giving our donations. Best is we stick to our ISKCON temples.
yeah. Mataji, one more thing, that there are so many advertisements also come to come and,
Mm.
give money for, like, so many cows are sick. They have got, like,
Mm.
accidents. With accidents, they have lost their leg. They have wounds in
Mm.
the body, that sometimes when you see
Yeah.
those pictures, the heart just melts, you feel very
Yes.
sad for them. But we
Yeah.
don't know how many organizations they are advertising. So you don't know which is, we can see those animals, they are really in pain. But we
Yes,
don't know how
Mataji.
they use the money.
Yes, Mataji. So I think the best is if we can go to a goshala in our city and donate money there, because we actually see, and ISKCON has goshalas, so we can donate there, and they also look after
Yeah, but at
the
the
girls.
same time, Mataji, when you see them, they're in such
Yes,
a bad
Mataji.
situation. You want to help them also.
We want to help
It's very
Mataji, but
sad, sad state.
we don't, because with the distance, we really don't know. They might be very authentic also, but it is really difficult to find out. Unless we have some connection through whom we know what is actually going on, it is
Yeah,
actually very difficult to know. Mm.
when I say that, really, it's too
Yes,
much.
Mataji, it's
I
actually
don't
very
feel like
painful to see.
very,
Yeah,
very
Madhava.
painful.
And actually, Madhava's rock band, it's devotees now. They have
Yeah.
started their Goshala in Vrindavan, where they are
Oh,
also rescuing cows who have been abandoned or who are
oh, that's
unwell.
a good thing.
So we can donate there, Mataji.
Yeah.
I mean, they have full videos and all. You can also go if you go to Vrindavan, you can see their Goshala also. So, and I mean, those are the safer options.
Yeah. They are very genuine.
Yes, very true.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So, here we have read in this section that we have to break the pillars of sinful life voluntarily. That means we should voluntarily follow the regulative principles with a lot of conviction. And the principles that have been given to us, the prohibitions that have been given to us, they are very logical. So we have to understand that, why we are following what we are following. So if we say no meat eating, this means that engaging, we don't have to I mean, no meat eating means engaging in non-violence against animals, and
Yeah.
this is supporting the principle of mercy or compassion. So, like there are four pillars of sinful life, there are four pillars of dharma also. So each of these pillars that we are trying to follow, or our regulative principles, that is to help us follow the principles of religious life. So when it comes to mercy, compassion, that is why we are told no meat eating. Cleanliness, we have to maintain both physical and mental purity, and that is why no intoxication. We have to be austere, we have to practice self control, and this
Mataji,
disciplines the
I think cleanliness is no illicit sex. That's what I think.
or I mean, it is where I read Mataji, illicit sex was for austerity, self control. But yes, I have also read that intoxication is for austerity, self control. I have
Yeah,
read both the
yes.
things, but you are right. Yes, it could be that. And then obviously, truthfulness, if
Gambling.
speaking and living honestly, so no gambling. So everything is very logical. If someone questions now, we should be able to answer that why we are following what we are following. Because when we do no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex and gambling, then we are practicing mercy, compassion, austerity, self control, cleanliness, and truthfulness. And if we are following these four pillars of religious life of dharma, then that is when, this is making a foundation for our sadhana. That is when it will make us pure to be able to serve Krishna, and this will help us chant more purely. Because if we think that, what is so important about following these principles, God's name is the highest, right? But if we don't follow any restrictions, then chanting becomes very like just a ritual. We'll not have that feeling because our mind will always remain disturbed by sinful desires. So it's all linked. We follow these regulative principles so that our life is pure, so that our mind is more, controlled, and then we'll be able to chant very nicely. So Srila Prabhupada has explained all these things. He's made all these things very logical and practical for us. And in the para that we read today, Prabhupada has said that the American government is spending millions of dollars to stop the use of LSD and other such intoxicants, but the government has failed. So, simply by passing laws, these problems cannot be solved. And really, I have had family members who have visited some cities in America, and they have really told that this drug problem is so big over there. I mean, right now, even in India, it is spreading very, very fast. It is very sad. But we have to understand that just by passing some laws or mentioning on the cigarette packet that smoking is injurious to health, these things will not stop, right? People are still smoking cigarettes, people are still drinking alcohol, people are still taking drugs. They know all the problems that can come up, but people are still doing it. Why is that happening? Just by giving a lecture, just by telling someone something in theory, it will not happen. We have to do something practical,
Mataji,
right?
some organization, like certain groups,
Hmm.
they wait outside schools. That has to be
Hmm.
we have to got to be very careful about that. They are
Yes,
giving
yes,
children,
yes,
teenagers, they
yeah.
give something to eat inside. There's all these things are there.
Yes, Mataji, and I heard in a lecture that those dhaba kind of places near many colleges,
Yes,
in the
yes, they
food
have.
itself, they will mix some drugs. So
Yeah,
that's why the students get addicted to going to that same place again
same
and again.
place. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's very, very scary right now. I have heard from someone that it's just like it's become so easy to get drugs now. You just have to become part of some WhatsApp group through some contacts, and then just like they deliver things to your house, they deliver drugs also. And it is so shocking and scary when we hear such things. And that is when we understand that can we just make restrictions and stop people from doing these things? No. The change has to come from within.
Yeah,
Otherwise, see, how are devotees able to leave even tea, coffee? Because that conviction is there, that higher taste is there. So till we get that higher taste and till we give that higher taste to our children, it is very difficult to stop them from doing these things. That moral compass, it has become actually, it has gone very low right now.
yeah,
So,
that's true.
yeah, and actually, one teacher in my family, she said that she was taking a group of students to Germany for a student exchange program or something, and these were, I think, probably students of ninth or tenth standards,
Yeah, that's the
and
time they
one
take
boy,
them.
yeah, and one boy wanted to drink. He wanted to try alcohol, and this teacher said that I gave it to him because otherwise he would drink without my knowledge. That would be worse. So this teacher only gave. And I still, it's been years since I heard this, but I still feel so shaken by this thing that how can a teacher do this? So the moral compass of the teacher also, what can we trust? Earlier times, like Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport earlier, people had some concept of dharma. Even teachers had that character. Now, who can we trust? So that is why our reliance, our hope is actually just following the Krishna consciousness movement. If we are depending upon Krishna, if we are following what Srila Prabhupada has taught us, only then can we remain pure in our heart and in our activities, and also for our children also. And that is what Prabhupada is saying in the para we read last, that something positive has to be given. So if we just say that don't do these things, and then we don't give something positive, then really it is very difficult to sustain it. Initially, we may do it, but then it is difficult to sustain. And that is why in our Krishna consciousness movement, there are so many activities. There is chanting, there is kirtan, there are classes, there are kirtan programs, there is sankirtan, there is nagar sankirtan, book distribution, prasadam. We have so many festivals, and that is why we have to, along with our chanting, we do all these seva also, and that is when we'll be able to actually stick, right? So I read a I mean, I heard a lecture about this verse where Prabhu was saying something very nice, very hope giving. So I thought I'll share with all of you. He was saying that we are actually in the fag end of our material existence because we don't simply come to chant Hare Krishna. It just doesn't happen by chance that we are attending classes, that we are coming to ISKCON, that we have actually taken spiritual life seriously. All these things actually indicate that we are right there. We have the opportunity to end our material life. All that we need is determination, Thridavrata. And if we are feeling weak minded, then we have to associate with devotees who are strong minded, because ultimately we learn by examples. So then when we see devotees, then we'll think that, oh, if they are doing it, why shouldn't I also do it? Let me try. That is why good association is very, very important. And association means wanting to hear from them, wanting to learn from them, and serving with them, not just coming in the midst of devotees and not doing anything. Okay, that is also nice because the presence of devotees is purifying, but we have to engage in service with devotees who are more advanced than us. Then we will realize how dedicated they are, how much seva they are doing, and then we will also feel encouraged to push ourselves further and further ahead. So we have to be very careful of whom we are associating with, and it is really our great fortune that we got the opportunity to come here. Now we have been given the greatest treasure. Now it is up to us to protect it and not waste this opportunity, this great opportunity that we got. Okay, so we'll end here today. If there are any questions, any comments.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, yes, Mataji, you are absolutely right. Because see, in South Africa here also, like my
Mm,
son in a metric, and
mm,
he is no, like no
mm,
one with him, like as an Indian boy, only black and white boys. So
mm,
in a metric dance and metric farewell parties, they were drinking so
mm,
much beer and other type of liquors. Even they had like ganja. And in South Africa now, ganja is
Well,
what you call is. Ganja is
legal.
now they are not
Mm,
prohibited. Like most of the
it's
people they
legal
are
now.
growing in the garden.
Mm,
Uh,
mhm. Oh,
Ganja. Yes, Mataji.
oh,
So government give them permission to grow the ganja.
yeah, they call
So
some other
that's
name,
why.
no, Mataji. They call some other name for that.
Sorry,
weed.
Yeah,
Mataji.
yeah,
They call
because
it
they call
weed.
Wheat,
it
wheat, wheat.
another name, some other name they call it, you know. So
They
like
call it
everyone
weed.
takes.
Other
Uh-huh.
wheat also there. Yeah, wheat smoking and other name also. I will find out for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
forgot
remember.
actually
I
the
just
other
forgot
name.
the name.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
see, because of we teach our children like that this is not right and this is wrong. So my
Mhm.
son understood like he can do this and he can do that. So we have
Mhm.
to like you are absolutely right that we have to teach
Mhm.
ourselves and we have to learn teach our children also about these
Correct.
things because
Correct.
these things is carrying on so much. Now my son is going university and in South Africa is a lot of beef meat, so like all
Mhm.
surrounding there. So I did arrangement with the ISKCON center and I did
Mhm.
arrangement with other temple also. So like
Okay.
too many things are going on here with the
Mhm.
youngsters.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
it's very
Mhm.
true, and I'm very
Mhm.
blessed that with the COVID I'm connected with the ISKCON after
Very,
COVID. So COVID for me it was blessing, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
very good. Hare Krishna. So nice.
Because
Thank you
I'm
so
living
much.
very far from temple, Mataji, 500-600 kilometer. Yes,
Oh,
Mataji.
okay. Which is the
Yeah,
nearest
I
temple?
have.
Which is the nearest
No,
temple?
I don't have any nearest temple. Only the Swaminarayan temple here. We in
Okay.
our town, we are living like on
Okay.
a farm type of town, like a Hovilam type.
Oh,
So we're a
okay.
very remote area. We are so like I'm the only devotee also in this area.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
No, but
Thank you
so
so
nice,
much.
Mataji, that you have trained your son very nicely, and definitely by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, he will remain on the right path. Haribol.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mataji.
so
Hare
much.
Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Yeah, so I'll just go back to the point which Padma Mataji was mentioning. Yes, Mataji, cleanliness and no illicit sex. Austerity is no intoxication. Truthfulness, no gambling. And mercy is no meat eating. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so we'll end here today. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo namo namah. वैष्णविन की जय, गुरु महारानी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरु महाराज की
Maharaj ki jai. Thank you,
जय।
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Dandavat
Dandavat
pranam.
Pranam.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji. Hare
Krishna. Thank you all for
Krishna.
joining.
Bye.
Hare Bol, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Mataji,
Mataji. Thank you so
Mataji
much.
joins us for Srimad Bhagavatam reading also, Mataji.
Navkishori Mataji.
Yes.
Oh, Hare Bol.
Yes,
So
yes.
nice.
Myself and now Kishori Mataji.
Right.
Hare
We
Krishna.
read Bhagavatam every day.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
so
Mataji.
nice,
Thank you.
Mataji. Hare Bol, Hare.
Yes.
Best use of technology.
Very much, very much. We have
Yes,
to thank
definitely.
COVID.
Yeah.
Only then we came to know about Zoom and Google Meet
Online, yes. True, true.
online.
Yes, yes.
That was a hidden blessing.
Yes, Mataji.
Only
We
both of you all are there, Mataji. Only both of you all are there.
No,
in
there
meeting?
are few more
No.
Yeah, I
also.
know.
Few
ICF,
more.
no?
ICF
Yes,
only. Yes.
Mataji. You can
Okay.
join also. Anybody wants to join.
Where have you reached now?
We are in 10th canto.
Oh, you all are gone
40.
that
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
Okay.
10th canto.
In the beginning or middle?
I think we are in 40th chapter. Text 40 chapter. Yes.
When you start again, we'll join.
Fine, Mataji. Hope so.
Otherwise, we'll do Bhagavad Gita reading.
We'll definitely.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.